Pros and cons of living in Seattle part 2. Unfortunately, my previous footage got deleted, so I'm now recording this video again. Okay guys, seriously, for whatever reason, God does not want me to make this con video. This is literally the third time that I'm recording this video because my footage keeps on crashing. I don't understand. Here we go. I was nice and elaborate in the previous 2 videos that I made on the cons, but at this point I'm literally just gonna be straightforward with you guys because I don't have time. My patience is running thin. First con in Seattle, the weather. It sucks. Outside of the summertime when, as I said in my previous video, it's amazing, it's beautiful, straight sunshine every single day. That lasts for 3 months out of the 12 of the year. So for 9 months, it's the exact opposite of that. I know that Seattle has the rep of being a super rainy city. I would say it's not the rain that makes the weather suck so much, it's more so the gloom. It does rain a lot, but it's more of a drizzle. It's not necessarily like pouring every single day, but you're in a constant state of like gloomy, wet, dark, depressing weather. And of course you have, you know, sun breaks as they call them here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty trash for 9 out of the 12 months of the year. My second con of living in Seattle, definitely specific to me, I will have to go ahead and say that the energy of the city is not really working for me. Seattle being on the West Coast, of course, it's expected that it's going to be a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill. I get it, but I definitely think that it's missing a sense of hustle, drive, ambition. You definitely don't get that type of energy here, and to me that's a con because it can very much affect one's motivation to do more. That might just be, you know, like an individual, like I said, thing. But yeah, it's just gonna have to be a con. Black people, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Like, questions that need answers. Seattle lacks a bustling Black professional culture. Yeah, it's definitely being built and developed right now by transplants that are coming to Seattle and forming social networks and social groups of people to do like events and mixers and things like that. And then my memory card wants to be full. The devil is a liar. Like, we're filming this video whether you like it or not. So as I was saying, black people. Obviously, this matters because I'm Black, right? I don't know how to word this, guys. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but basically, like, the Black culture in Seattle just isn't poppin'. And this is definitely a perspective thing because I grew up, again, around a very large, booming, poppin', happening, jumping Black professional culture. So I have been struggling a lot here in Seattle. As I mentioned in my previous video, Seattle is a very politically active city. However, I'm gonna have to call BS. In my opinion, Seattle is somewhat of a fake liberal city. For example, in the city of Seattle, you will see a countless number of Black Lives Matter signs, but very few people who actually believe that these lives matter. It's really easy to be for a cause when you don't actually have to do the work for a cause, and unfortunately, I definitely would say that that is what's happening in Seattle. From the outside looking in, it seems as though the city is very progressive and opening and welcoming, and in terms of the LGBTQ community, it totally is, hands down. But outside of that, I definitely think that the city has a lot of work to do if you're really trying to claim that title of being a progressive liberal city. this is definitely a weird one. I know, hole in the wall, what does that even mean? There are not very many places in Seattle that I can quickly go into, grab something to eat, and be out. Like, you know, like with it in my hand even. So for example, delis don't really exist. There are no Chinese food takeout places. There are no corner stores. The foodie culture is great. I think that there's just a lack of casual options. Yeah, I think that's the best way for me to explain it. And don't name Dick's because that's pretty much like the one and only place. Also that taco place, I forget what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. So the last con, which is definitely just kind of a general thing, it's harder to travel on the West Coast because things are so much more spread out. Even though it was on my pro list, the location is also on my con list just because it's harder to travel and harder to travel more frequently. Unless you just got it like that and are about to be on planes every single week, then I guess. But if you like having the option of traveling by car a little bit more, then Seattle might be a little bit tricky for you, especially since it's, you know, kind of on its own up in the Pacific Northwest. So that is it, you guys. Hopefully this video works out because like I said, this is the 4th time that I am now recording it. Even though I had a smaller list of cons than I did pros, the cons for me weighed a lot heavier, and for that reason I have actually decided to leave Seattle and relocate back to the East Coast. So I am no longer living in Seattle, Washington. Surprise, plot twist. And I actually did a cross-country road trip which I vlogged in its entirety and will be posting to this channel. I'm also going to Ghana before the end of the year and will be vlogging that as well. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on more content like this. As always, thank you guys so much for watching any of my videos, and I will see you in the next one.